So, picture this. You are on Slack at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, the classic danger zone.
Right, exactly. And your manager, who is in a totally different time zone, sent a message 3 hours ago.
And you just saw it.
You just saw it.
Yeah.
And the message just says, hey, let me know when you have a second.
Oh, that immediate stomach drop.
It is the worst. You're not sure if it's urgent. You're not sure if your reply will be misread. You're just sitting there frozen.
Yeah, because this right here, this is remote work English, and it has its own entirely separate set of rules.
It really does. Today for our deep dive, we are unpacking exactly that. We're looking at the architecture of remote communication.
Which is so crucial because, the transition to remote work basically stripped away all the physical context we used to rely on.
Yeah, you don't hear the tone of voice, you don't see their body language, you're just staring at text on a screen.
Exactly. And for working professionals communicating across time zones, especially in English, that missing context is a minefield.
So we are going to explore some highly actionable frameworks today to really improve the clarity and, the impact of your remote work communication.
And it really starts with understanding the biggest shift of all, which is the move to asynchronous communication.
Right, async. We hear that corporate buzzword all the time. But let's actually define it. Async basically just means messages are sent and received at different times.
Yeah, the real-time feedback loop is gone. It's the opposite of synchronous communication, which is your classic Zoom call or face-to-face chat where everything happens live.
And when you're working async, there are basically 5 core principles you have to follow if you don't want everything to just devolve into chaos.
Right, 5 rules. The first one is you have to be explicit, like way more explicit than you think is normal.
Second is to front load the most important info. Don't bury the lead.
Yep. Third, signal urgency, clearly. Fourth, always include the context.
And the 5th one, which I really want to talk about, is assuming positive intent.
That is a tough one for a lot of people.
It is. I actually kind of want to push back on it because assuming positive intent goes against human psychology.
How so?
Well, if I get a one-word message from my boss, like they just reply, fine. I don't assume positive intent. My brain immediately treats it like a threat.
Oh, sure, you assume they're furious with you.
Exactly. It's the exact same panic as analyzing a text from a bad first date. If they text back K, you assume they hate you.
It's biological. We are wired to see ambiguity as a threat.
We really are. When text is neutral, it just feels cold.
But that's exactly why assuming positive intent is an active practice, not just a motivational quote. You have to actively change the narrative in your head.
So how do we actually do that?
Okay, think about this. When you see the word fine, you are probably picturing your manager sitting at a nice desk, sighing, rolling their eyes at your message.
Yeah, I'm picturing deep disappointment.
Right. But in reality, they're probably like running through an airport holding a coffee.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They're speed walking to their gate, typing with their left thumb while carrying a heavy bag. Fine isn't a judgment of your worth. It's literally just the maximum amount of characters they could physically type in that exact second.
That is such a good reframe, like shifting from they are angry to they are typing with one thumb instantly lowers my blood pressure.
Exactly. But it also means that when we are the ones writing the message, we have to carry the burden of eliminating that ambiguity for the other person.
Right, which brings us back to those first 2 rules, being explicit and front-loading information.
And there is a very specific structural tool for this called the BLUF principle.
BLUF. B-O-U-F, bottom line up front.
It's honestly the most important framework in this entire deep dive.
It really is. It forces you to basically unlearn how you were taught to write. In school, you build up a narrative and reveal the conclusion at the end.
But if you do that in a Slack message, it causes actual cognitive overload for the reader.
Yeah, let's actually look at the weak example from the source material to show how bad this can be.
Oh, this one hurts to read. Go for it.
Okay, here's the weak version. Hey, so I've been working on the proposal, and I ran into some questions about the format, and also the client asked some things, and I think we need to discuss, but wanted to check first.
I am already stressed out just hearing that.
Right. The request is completely buried. What do they even want me to do?
Exactly. Do they want a meeting? Do they want you to answer the client? You have no idea. Now, contrast that with the strong BLUF optimized version.
Let's hear it.
Need your input on the Anderson proposal before I send. 2 specific questions. Happy to hop on a quick call if easier. No rush. End of day is fine.
It is like night and day.
Friction is just totally gone. The bottom line is right there in the first 4 words. Need your input.
And they define the scope immediately with 2 specific questions. And I love that they set a clear timeline. No rush, end of day is fine.
It neutralizes the panic. And you can actually use fill-in-the-blank templates for this stuff.
Oh yeah, the templates are great. Like, for an urgent message, the structure is just urgent, brief issue, needs specific action by specific time.
Super clean. And for request, it's context, dot one sentence, request, specific ask, timeline, when you need it.
Or for a status update, you just say, update on project, completed, list it out. Next, list it out. Blocker, list whatever's in your way.
But to really make those GLUF structures work without sounding, rude or aggressive, you have to use the right vocabulary.
Yeah, remote work has basically created its own dictionary, a whole set of shorthand phrases.
Let's run through some of the essentials, starting with bandwidth.
Bandwidth is fascinating because it used to be an IT term, right? Like network capacity.
Exactly. But now it's human capacity. It's a way to ask, do you have the time and mental energy to do this?
So you'd say, do you have the bandwidth for a new project this week?
Right. It's so much more polite than just saying, are you busy? Then we have terms like OO, which is out of office, and WFH, working from home.
Those are pretty standard now, but time zone is another huge one.
Oh, absolutely essential for global teams. You have to be hyper-aware of where your colleagues are sitting.
And to protect your time across those zones, you use block time.
Right. Blocking time on your digital calendar so people can't schedule meetings over your focused work sessions.
Which brings us to one of my favorite concepts. Deep work.
Oh, deep work is so critical. How do you define it in a practical sense?
I mean, a lot of people think deep work just means working hard, but it's really an active defense against all these notifications.
Yes, exact.
A real practical example of deep work is literally closing Slack, closing your email, moving your physical phone to another room.
Totally disconnecting.
Yeah, for like 2 hours, you look at nothing but the complex report you were trying to write. You were removing all digital friction.
But you can't just disappear, right? You need to give a heads up. That's another key vocab word, advance notice.
Right, you'd drop a message in Slack saying, going heads down until 2 p.m.
Or slow on Slack today. It sets that boundary perfectly.
But what about when you are online and someone hits you with an urgent message, but you need time to actually look into it?
You never want to just leave them on read. That spikes their anxiety.
So what's the phrase?
You use something like on it, or looking into this now. We'll update in 15 minutes.
That is so smart. It acknowledges you got the message, but it buys you time.
And if someone sends you one of those terrible rambling messages we talked about earlier, you can use a polite clarification phrase.
Right, instead of just saying, I don't understand, which sounds a bit combative.
Yeah, you say, just want to make sure I understand the ask correctly. Are you looking for X or Y?
Giving them a multiple choice off-ramp. I love that.
It works so well.
So we've got all these frameworks and vocab words. Let's actually see them in action. The sources have this great sample dialogue that really proves how this all comes together.
This is the exchange between Morgan in the UK and Taylor in the US, right?
Exactly. Let's read it out like a real Slack exchange and then analyze it, because it is basically a masterclass.
I'm ready. Set the scene for us.
Okay, so it is 5 p.m. in the UK. Morgan's probably wrapping up the day. But in the US, it's 12 p.m., so Taylor is right in the middle of the workday.
Perfect cross-time zone setup.
So Morgan sends this message. Taylor, urgent client, is asking for a revised quote by tomorrow, 9 a.m. UK time. Can you turn this around tonight? Happy to get on a call to help scope it.
Okay, immediately, Morgan is doing so many things right.
Front-loading the word urgent.
Yes. But the best part is the time zone empathy. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. UK time.
Because if Morgan just said tomorrow morning, Taylor might think that meant U.S. time.
Exactly. It eliminates all the time zone math confusion.
Okay, so 3 minutes later, Taylor replies from the U.S. Taylor says, on it. Quick question, are they keeping the same product mix, or should I reprice from scratch? We'll have something by 6 p.m. your time.
Just flawless async communication from Taylor here.
Right. Starting with on it diffuses Morgan's anxiety instantly.
Morgan knows the task is handled before logging off for the night. And then Taylor asks a super targeted, clarifying question.
Which is so important, because if Taylor just starts guessing, they could waste hours doing the wrong work while Morgan is asleep.
Again, finishing with 6 p.m. your time. Perfect empathy.
So Morgan replies, same mix, just update the rates. 6 p.m. works perfectly. Thank you.
So clean.
Now we fast forward. It is 5:45 p.m. U.S. time. Taylor drops the draft into the channel and says, Draft in the shared folder. Flag 2 pricing assumptions. Please check before sending.
Oh, the flagged assumptions. That is the ultimate defensive move in remote work.
Explain that a bit more. Why is that so crucial?
Because if we were in a physical office, I could hand you a piece of paper, point to a paragraph, and say, hey, I wasn't totally sure about this number.
Right, you have that real-time safety net.
But asynchronously, you don't. So Taylor has to explicitly highlight the potential weak spots to protect the integrity of the work.
That makes total sense. And then the next morning, 7:30 a.m. UK time, Morgan replies, reviewed and sent. This was exactly what they needed. Really appreciate the fast turnaround.
Boom. A totally frictionless loop.
But you know what's really interesting about this whole exchange?
What's that?
What's missing from it? There's absolutely zero small talk.
Right. No, how's your day?
Yeah.
Or did you have a good weekend?
Nothing. In a physical office, walking up to someone's desk and demanding something without saying hello feels incredibly rude.
But in remote work English, clarity and brevity are actually the highest form of politeness,
It's true. You are respecting the other person's time and cognitive load.
which is so much more valuable than a hollow pleasantry.
Absolutely. But look, even with all these amazing async skills, eventually you hit a wall. Sometimes a problem is just too complex and you have to actually get on a call.
You have to face the synchronous space, the video meeting.
And that introduces a whole new set of vocabulary, starting with just trying to schedule the thing.
Oh, scheduling across time zones is its own special nightmare.
It really is. You're dealing with calendar invites, trying to find block time, maybe having to create a poll or a doodle to find a slot.
And the language you use when scheduling has to be very empathetic.
Right. You say things like, I know it's early for you, happy to accommodate.
Or if it's a big group, you offer an out. You say, I'll send the recording for anyone who can't make it.
That prevents the calendar invite from feeling like a demand. But then, once you actually load into the video call, the vibe is just weird.
Because all the organic flow of a real room is gone.
Exactly. You can't make eye contact to pass the conversation to someone. You can't naturally interject.
So you have to verbally engineer the whole flow. It feels a bit like doing flight attendant safety checks.
That's exactly what it feels like. You have those before phrases like, is my video okay? Or, can everyone see my screen?
And during the meeting, someone basically has to act as a traffic cop.
Right, actively handing things off. I'll head it back to Sarah.
Or managing the chaos. We're getting some feedback. Can you mute yourself?
Which is inevitable. And then the wrap-up has to be really deliberate, too.
You can't just let a video call fade out into silence. It's so awkward.
So you say, we're coming up on time. Let me quickly recap.
Followed by, I'll send a summary by EOD. End of day.
It is so structured, but despite all that mechanical structure, there is one universal truth about remote work that always brings us back to our shared humanity.
Let me guess.
I mean, no matter what time zone you're in, no matter what your native language is, eventually you will have to say the defining phrase of our generation.
You're on mute.
You're on mute. It happens to literally everyone.
The great equalizer.
It really is. So just to pull all of this together for the listener, if you want to master remote work English, you have to treat your communication as a system.
Yes. Remember your BLUF, bottom line up front.
Over-communicate your context. Use the right shorthand to signal your bandwidth.
And, maybe most importantly, when that text seems too brief, actively choose to assume positive intent.
Remember the person typing with one thumb in the airport.
Exactly.
So those frameworks will definitely make you more efficient. But stepping back from the source material for a second, it kind of leaves me with this really provocative question.
I know where you're going with this.
I mean, we are getting so precise, right? We are structuring everything, flagging assumptions, using BLUF. We are becoming ultra-efficient asynchronous communicators.
Yeah.
But as we engineer out all this messy, unstructured communication, are we accidentally engineering out serendipity?
Oh, that is the big question. Because so much innovation actually happens in those random unstructured brainstorms.
Right. When someone just starts rambling and suddenly a brilliant idea pops out.
Are we trading that creative spark just to be more operationally efficient?
It's definitely something to think about the next time you're perfectly crafting an async message. Are we losing the magic of the tangent?
It's a trade-off for sure.
But hey, at least now you have the tools to handle that 3 p.m. Slack panic without a meltdown.
You're fully equipped.
So we want to hear from you. What is the most frustrating thing about remote work communication for you, and how do you handle it? Tell us in the comments. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss next week's deep dive.